Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Paranormal The New Normal presents Paranormal Primetime. I'm your host, Jeremy, and of course, joining me is my co-host, Malachi, as we delve even deeper into Season 4 of Supernatural. What's going on, Malachi?
Not a whole lot. What is the halfway point? We're at least how many seasons did you say there were? 16?
I think 15 or 16, so Season 8
We're
is
a
like the
quarter of
halfway
the
point.
way done, huh?
Yeah, it only gets longer. uh, Well, folks, we have two fun Monster of the Week episodes for you this week. And Malachi gets to start off with his episode, The Lucky Bastard, who got this one.
Yeah, this one was pretty good. Okay,
Oh,
so we got season 4, episode 11, Family Remains. What's up, Pup? Okay, so we're starting off. Sam's waking up in the back of the car while Dean's just looking for cases. Sam tries to tell Dean that he needs to take a break, but Dean just wants to get it out there and find a case. So they find one with this guy, Bill Gibson, who was found murdered in his room when the entire house was locked from the inside. There was no forced entry, which I don't. One dude, do you think that even sounds like a case for them to
I mean,
go for?
the call is coming from inside the house, so it sounds like something they would look into because there was no foul play suspected.
Yeah, I guess so. Sam goes in and tells Dean he's exhausted. They should take a break, but they end up going off to this one. Um, so they're going to Stratton, Nebraska, and they're investigating the house. The EMP's going off like crazy, but they're under power lines. As they're walking out, they're going to go investigate. They see this family moving truck coming in. So they automatically act like they're county code enforcers and tell them that the house has asbestos in the walls and a gas leak, and there's a motel a couple streets down. You should go stay there. These guys are pissed. They just drove cross country to move into this farmhouse, and they're like, well, what happens if we don't? And Dean tells them either hefty fine or jail time. Pick your poison. There's another thing they said in this one, which was a good shit. Hopefully that comes back to me. I meant to write that down. Or I think it's in your episode, actually.
Maybe.
So Sam and Dean, they go to visit the guy's cleaning lady, the old housekeeper. She's the one that found the body. They're asking her questions. They find out that he had a wife, but she had died in childbirth, and his granddaughter, or his daughter, I'm sorry, his daughter Rebecca hung herself in the attic, and both of them were cremated. So they're thinking maybe there's some remains of one of them that he pissed off in the house somewhere. So that we get back to the family, the brother-in-law is in construction. He's like, there's no asbestos in there. I don't smell a gas leak. I don't know who the hell these guys were, but let's start moving in, which I think you'd look a little more into that too, right? Two dudes
Yeah.
pretending to be code enforcers. It's a little sketch. Um, so I mean, we can find out there's something going on between the wife and the husband. They're talking about new starts and all this stuff. Um, what's going on? So they're all unpacking, and the boy says that there's a girl that's in his walls, and then the older daughter's laying in bed, and she feels the dog licking her fingers hanging off the side of the bed. And
Classic.
then all of a sudden the dog comes in through her front door and she starts freaking screaming, and we hear something go through like the wall, like into the wall, and she screams. Um, Sam and Dean actually rush into the house while the parents are there, and they're trying to tell the family they got to leave because there's a ghost that's gonna kill them all. And I mean, that's just a jungle fuck because nobody really knows what's going on. They finally convince these people to leave, and they're going outside, and everybody's car tires are slashed. So all the weapons are stolen too. Sam and Dean have no weapons. The car tires are slashed. Everything's gone. So they decide to go back into the house, and Dean and Sam convince them to make a salt circle, and they're just going to hang out inside of this salt circle. And man, they not a lot of notes on this one. So the girl ghost appears, and they're all huddling in this salt circle, and all of a sudden the girl steps over the fucking circle, and now Sam and Dean are like, "Uh-oh, humans, right?" So
Well,
the family,
Sam wasn't in the circle. He went outside to look for it. He went up to the attic to do some research. So
he finds the diary, right?
it's just Dean sitting there watching like the feet of the ghost and like expecting it to stop on the salt.
Which I think they would. I mean, they would think it was more human from like all the appearances they've seen of this ghost. That's not like disapparating. It's like walking through doors and shit.
And it's
But
and all the guns are missing, the tires are slashing. Like no ghost does that shit.
yeah. So they rush outside, and they're heading to the shed, and they find out that the youngest boy Danny is missing. They tell Susan and Kate to go hide in the shed, and then Ted and Dean, they go check inside the house, and Brian and Sam, the dad of the kids, and Sam, they check the grounds outside. So Dean figures out where a hidden door is. They bust through that, and it's in this wall space. And I mean, this is like Children Under the Stairs, The Boy 2 at this point. Like, it's just people living in walls. And they find a whole bunch of like half-eaten rats and all sorts of crazy stuff. And the girl sneaks up behind them and kills the brother-in-law Ted. So
which he was kind of a
you know,
dick, so I wasn't too sad about that.
yeah, but wouldn't you be? Sam and Dean show up, bossing you around, already hit him when like not to get in the circle. So Dean ends up taking Ted's lifeless body back to the shed out there, and Sam had already read this entire diary of Rebecca, which I thought was kind of crazy. It's a pretty thick book to read in the dark that quick. And the diary reveals that Rebecca Gibson was raped by her own father and became pregnant and then hung herself. So Dean goes back into the house. They go in through the dumbwaiter, which in the beginning, there's a little scene where when Sam and Dean are checking it out, he's like, "What the hell is that?" And they make a point of the whole dumbwaiter thing. This one was kind of one you could see what was going like a mile away, 10 minutes into the episode. But let me catch back up here. So Dean finds their weapons and Danny bound under the floor space. And as he's trying to free him, the boy gets his mouth and says, "Watch out, he's there." And Dean's like, "Who the hell is he?" Now we find out there's two of these freaks living in the walls, and she's got a brother. And Dean and the brother monster kid are fighting back and forth. Meanwhile, the girl is breaking into the shed and attacking Susan and Kate, and that's when Brian arrives and stabs her. And that's how they break down the end of this episode.
No,
So yeah,
there's a scene at the end of this. There's another scene at the end of this episode.
yeah, I get to that. They blasted through this whole fucking
I mean, it
episode
happened.
really quick.
Yeah, I mean,
Normally it's like fucking
I
30 minutes of me reading shit.
I want to say I almost want to say you skipped over stuff, but you really didn't because all you really skipped over was like conversation and like filler scenes.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess there was a lot of filler. I think the filler did add to the suspense of it, though. Like with the boy
Yeah.
drawn on the wall, and there was like crown, and he's like, "I didn't do that, Dad. The girl did it."
And with like the whole scene of like the girl of like something playing catch with the boy in his room.
Yeah,
Like
no, there
it's
was a lot of. I guess that would be hard to explain. But okay, so the boy and the fucking girl living in the walls are killed. They're done. Dean got one. The dad got the other one. They're leaving in the morning. Everybody's okay. They got all the cars running. And we find out that the family living there is going to give them a head start. Something tells me you guys don't like being around the cops or whatever. So then we get Sam and Dean having their little gay moment there where Dean says he feels pity on them. And, those children were turned into that. I mean, and really, like, what else could you expect from them, right? Like, locked in a fucking wall their entire life,
which
like right
you
after
did
birth.
you didn't explain where they. Well, okay, I guess you kind of did, but you didn't explain the full aspect of where they came from, even.
Well, yeah, the grandfather, the dad raped his daughter. She had the babies, and then he locked them in the walls and would feed them. And then
Yeah,
eventually they broke out, and that whole scene in the beginning where we see the dad getting attacked, that was skipped over too.
yeah.
I got to start writing notes for this again. It's been a busy week. Okay, and then we get into like fucking Dean telling Sam about how he liked killing people in hell, and there's a difference between what they did for survival, and Dean liked killing people in hell and dishing it
Torturing,
back, and
torturing, not killing technically because they're already dead. But
yeah. And there's a couple scenes in here where Sam's like, "Man, that must have been like hell," and then Dean gets all pissy. But it was a good episode for a one-off episode for Halloween. I will give it that.
yeah, it works.
Especially if you like People Under the Stairs. My wife loves that movie.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
You haven't seen People Under the Stairs?
Nah, I know of it. I've just never seen it.
You would love that movie, dude. That's got you written
Uh,
all over it.
it's on a
1980s fucking a
it's on a
whole
bunch of it's on a bunch
kids
of
and shit.
brackets. It's on a bunch of brackets I made. So yeah, I'll watch it eventually. But
You gotta get. I mean, a week till Halloween, dude. You gotta get on it.
dude, I have so many movies to watch for my next bracket that I haven't even had a chance to watch yet. Like I barely get to watch TV as it is.
Yeah.
But
Well, there were no not safe for work scenes in this one for watching in Walmart, so it was good.
but
Oh,
no, go ahead.
what were you gonna rate it?
Ah, I'd give it a 3.5. It was a good episode. I mean, it wasn't amazing, but it was a good episode.
Yeah, I'll be right there with you. The more times you see it, too, like the first time you see it, it's pretty damn solid episode.
Well, it's very similar to an episode of the X-Files I did called Home.
Okay.
But it's a little different. It's a little different, but it's got similar aspects. And at one point in this episode, Dean says like the situation is a story ripped from the Austrian headline, and there actually was a case in Austria where Josef Fritzl imprisoned his daughter and fathered several children with her.
Yeah.
So they stole this from like real cases. But yeah, it was a good episode. I'm not gonna lie. It's backwoods horror. I love backwoods horror.
And I think this is the second episode where Dean's like, people, right? What the fuck? Like they're dealing with Lucifer, but it's like these people are fucked up.
The Benders was the other episode. It's the last episode they did where it was actually humans as villains.
Yeah.
Well, humans that aren't hunters as villains, I should say. But yeah.
Or
But
FBI agent.
yeah. Well, that's why it's funny when when the dad says to him, like, "I'll give you a head start because I don't think you guys like the police too much." Dean's like, "It's
Yeah,
a mutual thing. It's a mutual thing.
yeah.
Trust me."
Feelings
But
mutual.
folks, I guess it's time to get into my episode, and my episode was season 4, episode 12, and it is Criss Angel is a Douchebag, which was written by Julie Siege and directed by Robert Singer himself. And well, I'll get to that in a minute, next part. Uh, but actually, I'll get to it right now because we start off this episode and we're in Sioux City. It's Magic Week, and a magician, Jay, sits in a bar amusing the bartender with his card tricks. Which Jay is a huge guest star for this show, Mr. Barry Bostwick himself, aka the mayor from Spin City,
Hmm.
which was one of my favorite fucking sitcoms of the late '90s, early 2000s. But
I don't think I ever saw it.
oh, Michael J. Fox is on it like regularly. It's fucking amazing.
Hmm.
But and then Charlie Sheen takes over when Michael J. Fox gets his shaky stuff.
Parkinson's crap.
Yeah, yeah. When he gets that, Charlie Sheen takes over his role. It's a really good show. But and Barry, it's about the mayor's office in New York City, and Barry Bostwick is the main character. He plays the mayor, but and he's hilariously stupid. Uh but he's sitting at the bar drinking a whiskey, showing the bartender his card tricks, and a younger magician, Patrick Vance, is heckling him, calling him washed up. And later, Jay is sitting with his friends Charlie and Vernon in a theater watching another flashy young musician called Jeb Dexter go through his act, which Jeb is basically a Criss Angel wannabe, and which Criss Angel is a douchebag, so yeah. But
Well, Criss Angel wasn't in this episode though, right?
I I feel like they're just like they want to make fun of him, so they put him in the title. But
Well, I was wondering, was that guy you're talking about right now? Was that Criss Angel?
it was supposed to be kind of, but they couldn't use his name for legal rights. But that's why Dean says in the episode like Criss Angel's a douchebag. But
Huh.
but Jay and his friends are talking about how their day has passed and Jay is just becoming more and more depressed. And he announces that he intends to undertake the table of death trick that night, a trick he almost died trying 30 years ago. His friends try to talk him out of it, but they can't talk him out of it. That we jump forward to that night where he lies bound under a rack of steel spikes about to descend, and he starts his trick, and the spikes fall, but the curtain is parted to reveal him still alive and well. Meanwhile, as he is leaving a bar, we see Patrick Vance, the guy heckling him earlier, fall to the ground dead, blood oozing from 10 puncture wounds in his chest, just like the table. But we title scene, Sam and Dean arrive to investigate. Sam reveals a knowledge of the world of magicians gained during a phase when he was 13 after Dean makes fun of him a little bit for it. And speaking to the assistant for Patrick Vance, they find out that he had a tarot card, the Ten of Swords, on him when he died. So Dean goes and questions Charlie and Vernon, but he gets nowhere. So they tell they tell Dean to go speak
Yeah.
to someone called the Chief that they say once crossed Patrick. Once when he arrives there, it's in an alley in the back in like a bad part of the city. Dean goes there and he knocks on doors and says, "I'm looking for the Chief." And he gets let in, and this guy in full leather attire comes out and asks Dean what his safe word is.
With the whip.
Dean finds out he's been had, that it's a gay leather dom, but which was hilarious.
Yeah, that was the
But
best part of the whole episode there.
yep. But we go back to seeing Sam doing research at the hotel. When he gets there's a knock at the door, he grabs his gun and slowly goes to open it, and we see Ruby standing at the door. And she tells Sam that he's wasting his time while the 66 seals are being broken. I believe she says 34 have already been broken.
Mm-hmm.
And she tells him that the angels are losing the battle. Oh, yeah, 34 of the seals have been broken, yeah. And Sam says he doesn't know where the seals are or how to stop them from being broken. Ruby counters that he needs to go after the source of the problem, Lilith. Sam refuses and Ruby leaves.
There was one part in there I didn't understand where she says, "You know what you need to do," and Sam says, "I don't mind doing the basically the sucky outy shit, but what the hell was Ruby?" Because then Sam's like, "No, I'm not doing that."
I don't know. That'll be revealed eventually, I'm sure. I forget what the hell it is, but I'm sure it'll be revealed eventually.
Okay.
But Sam and Dean go back to the hotel or casino, where the hell they are, and Dean threatens the old men that he'll withhold their rights to charge them. He'll withhold the right to charge them for obstruction of justice after what they pulled. But Charlie and Vernon reveal that their con of being an agent is they know he's not really a FBI. They're like, "You're trying to con a con man," but then Sam and Dean lie about them being aspiring magicians. And that night, Jay says he wants to try another death-defying act called the Executioner, which is basically just trying to escape from a straitjacket while being hung from a noose. And we see Jeb Dexter in his room listening to some pretty decent metal. And we see Jay struggling, trying to escape from the Executioner. And all of a sudden, we go back to Jeb and we see a noose of rope, which is just in his room for some reason. Don't know why. Maybe he likes autoerotic fixation. I couldn't tell you, and we see the noose come to life and start to hang Jeff from the ceiling fan in his hotel room, and the noose is starting to tighten on stage, and we see Jay curtain pops open and Jay's free, and Sam's like, "What the fuck? This doesn't make sense," and we see Jeb just swinging there from the fan. Honestly,
and Dean was like super fucking surprised.
Into it, yeah. Well, he was clapping all happy, but and Sam and Dean talk about it afterwards, and they're like, Jay has to be using some kind of black magic to regain his old glory. Sam asks Dean if he thinks they will grow old, but Dean says that their life ends bloody or sad. And Sam says, like, you wouldn't want to do something if they could end the demon war. And Dean's suspicious that Sam isn't telling him everything, but Sam denies it. But back at the theater, we find out that Jeb is dead, and he also had a tarot card, the Hangman, on him. They confront Jay, but Jay has no idea what's going on. And after they tie him to a chair and confront him with guns, he escapes while they are occupied. And as soon as they go down the lobby of the hotel trying to find him, cops come running in. Jay's like, "Those are the crazy guys that tied me up," and they get arrested. But Jay, we see while 17 are in jail, we see Jay admitting to his friend Charlie that he doesn't know how he is performing the feats, and that he intended to kill himself the day he performed the Table of Death. And he's wondering if he should stop, but Charlie keeps telling him, like, "Nah, you gotta keep going," saying how happy he is to see Jay on top again. That night, Jay does the Table of Death again with a full house, but he succeeds. But backstage, we see Charlie is dead, punctured through the chest, just like Vance in the beginning of the episode. So Jay has the boys released from jail, and he asks for their help because his best friend's dead. He's terrified. He doesn't know what's going on. So they go to Vernon, his other friend's room, to search for clues because they figure it's gotta be him since he's the only one left that wants to see Jay succeed. And they find a poster of a guy who looks very familiar, and it's a young Charlie as a magician called the Great Desertini. But
and this
stage,
is after Jay bailed Sam and Dean out.
Yeah, I said that.
Oh.
We don't know that yet. But no, he didn't bail them out. He just didn't. He signed up for charges. Yeah, he dropped charges. But Jay, we see Jay on stage confronting Vernon, who says he doesn't know what's happening. But then a young man arrives. It's Charlie, and he's young again. Charlie reveals that he once worked with P.T. Barnum, who gave him a powerful grimoire that contained a spell for immortality and the enchanted pack of tarot cards. He offers eternal life to Vernon and Jay, although it means Sam and Dean will have to die, because at this point, he has Sam magically locked into the Table of Death that he has Dean hanging from the ceiling by the noose. But Jay pickpockets Charlie's deck of cards, leaving one, the magician, with Charlie, and then he stabs himself, killing Charlie in the process. After this, we see in the final episode, we see Sam in the final scene. We see Sam and Dean meet Jay at the bar. He's all depressed. His best friend is dead, and Vernon left because he didn't want any part of it, and because he's mad that Jay didn't want to take the deal to be young again. Dean tells him to do the right thing, but Jay finds no comfort in it, and he leaves. Dean suggests to Sam that they have a beer, but Sam says he wants to go for a walk. And in the final part of the episode, we see Ruby sitting there in the car. Sam gets in with her, and he says he's in. Ruby asks him why he changed his mind, and Sam says that he doesn't want to be hunting monsters when he's an old man. And honestly, it was kind of a strange ending for the episode that Jay just walked out of the bar and I don't think he ever comes back as a character. So,
well, and wouldn't he? Since he did the final kill, I guess he didn't turn young though, right? So he wouldn't be eternal.
Yeah, he didn't do the immortal thing, but in the episode, Dean says, "I hope I die before I get old," which is a line from the Who song "My Generation." But
it's a whole Circle Jerk song,
basically. Well, it's an old The Who song first, but yeah.
Nah. The Who?
Exactly. And it's actually funny because when Charlie and Vernon send him to find the chief, they tell him to go to Bleecker Street, and I caught this immediately because Bleecker Street is the street that Doctor Strange lives on in Marvel Comics in New York City.
I don't watch any of the Marvel.
I read the comics, motherfucker. I knew from the comics.
I didn't read the comics because they were fucking more expensive than DC.
Yeah.
They're fucking marking their shit up. Fuck Marvel.
But we're not getting into that. But
Marvel's got better characters anyway.
But apparently, the title of the episode is a reference to the Kevin and Bean morning show from an LA radio station, KROQ. And they frequently joked about Criss Angel during the time the episode was released. The producer, Sarah Gamble, was living there at the time, and she got the title from listening to that show.
Huh, so, that's weird. I guess I listened to a different station. I never heard of those people.
I've heard the names. I mean, they're pretty famous, but... we have 2 great episodes next week for the day before Halloween.
What? Day before Halloween? Oh, yeah. Thursday. Cool. I gotta fucking mow my lawn on Halloween. I don't know what I'm doing, dude. Everything's getting busy.
I ain't mowing my fucking lawn. I'm letting the frost kill it in a week.
I still got a customer on Fridays.
But, folks, that's it. What?
I got back from doing it like 10 minutes before I realized, oh, shit, I pushed the podcast off tonight. So I made it like just in time and remembered.
Well, folks, that's going to do it for tonight. It's a short one, I know, but these were too good. What do you rate this episode?
Oh, we didn't rate them.
We didn't rate this one, yeah. What's your rate?
I did a 3.5 on this one, too. I've seen this one a lot.
I have to, but I'll give it a 3.8 just because it's Barry Bostwick and I fucking love him. He's a good actor. But, folks, short episode this week, but it was 2 Monster of the Week episodes that were... They're more episodes you have to watch them rather than freaking, like, we can't really talk about them too much because there's not storyline to talk about. It's just, you gotta watch them. But...
They were 6, 7.
Yeah. But we'll be back next week with 2 more Monster of the Week episodes, basically. And then I think after that, we'll be getting back into the storyline again. But 2 more Monster of the Week episodes next week. So come on back and enjoy it on All Hallows Eve or Devil's Night or whatever you want to call it. But
Hell night.
Until then, have a good one, everybody.
Take it easy.